Hi friends, welcome to Malaology. I am Teresa, Doctor of Metaphysics, Ascension Guide and Priestess, here to share easy ways that you can use Mala and mantra to make a better life for magic manifestation and energetic healing. Today we're going to talk about the Sacral Chakra, and it's going to be a little bit different than probably what you've heard about it before, because I like to look a little deeper at the energies of the chakras and what they actually mean for your energetic body and where you're at your specific time in this manifest reality that you live in. Okay, so in the sacral space we have two very divergent energies. We have the inner child and the dragon. And so your inner child is playful, has needs that need to be met, has kind of a sense of humor, hopefully, and memories, right? Repressed memories, perhaps, suppressed feelings, perhaps, but this is where we keep memories. Now, the dragon can be very protective of that inner child. There can be rage, you know, there can be a very, very protective energy there. Possibly, if your dragon, if your inner child requires protection, if there is any kind of closets that need to stay hidden for whatever reason, you know, so your dragon and your inner child, they coexist in this space with two very, very different energy. One of water, emotion, and kind of neediness, and one of fire and brazen, outrage sometime, and protectiveness. Okay, so by the very nature of where the sacral chakra is, symbolically, this is ascension. This is ascension energy, because we are moving from the root chakra to the sacral space. So we're moving up in energy. Now, when you look at the chakra system and you understand what this is, all it is a symbolic representation of what you are. So it's a way that your spirit can communicate with itself and can actually see what has happened and is happening. Most things are like that. Most alchemical symbols and astrological symbols and elemental symbols are just that. It's a language that you can use to communicate with yourself, with the angelic realm, and with creation. Okay, so the energetic body has a pillar of light that descends from the source down to ultimately the bottom of the tree of life, Melketh, physical manifestation. So light has poured from heaven, so to speak, down to earth and created this physical form that is manifest. And that is in itself kind of a magic thing. One can argue that it's not actually real, that it's an illusion, and hey, I agree with that. But this is where we exist. This is where we're working, okay? So then, from physical manifestation, the energy of Melketh, or from spirit in man, is working its way back up. It's ascending, right? So we are now working our way down from physical manifestation up back to divinity. And so what you have is this pillar of light that is the I am. I am. So each of your chakras will be kind of an expression of that I am as it ascends or descends, depending on how you look at it, right? So at the root, I am safe, right? And at the sacral space, I am worthy. And at your solar plexus space, I am me, right? At your heart, I am loved. At your throat, I am heard. At your third eye, I am enlightened. And at your crown, I am God. So, of course, you can use many, many other words besides that. But the point is that the center is the I am, right? And in the I am, we have a descending energy and an ascending energy. So you'll see that caduceus symbol a lot, where you have a pillar and then a snake going this way and a snake going this way, and one is ascending and one is descending, and that is actually the energy of spirit as it moves down and then back up. So in the sacral space, we have the beginning of ascension, moving from the root up toward spirit. And so what this represents is creativity, an impetus, a movement. Just the very, very movement is a thing that means change, growth, the seed cracks open, that kind of thing, right? So we're making progress, we're evolving. This is kind of some of the root words for the sacral space. But then you want to think about that inner child, the inner child that lives there, because this is where you hold the energy of your inner child. And it's interesting because this is where you hold, if you're a woman, the child that you carry in your womb. And that inner child has needs, physical needs. So in the sacral chakra space, if you do not get your needs met, then you become vulnerable in this space, right? If you grow up hungry, or if you grow up cold, if you grow up without, the love and affection that you need, all that, you become vulnerable in the sacral space. It becomes imbalanced relative to the chakras around it. You also have the dragon there. That dragon energy is protective of the inner child, and it is your rage. It is the thing that the inner child will feel fear. The dragon will feel anger. And so your dragon will protect your inner child. So you're not alone, you never were. Okay, and we all have a dragon. Okay, a lot of people see it as that snake coiled at the base of the spine, which is a lovely way to look at it. Like I said, everything is symbolic, and I can see why they would see that, but it's not resting at the base of the spine, just kind of sitting there doing nothing. It is spring coiled. It's held down there hard, right? Until it finally gets a chance to explode upward, and it's ready to. If you are explosive with anger sometimes, this is your dragon protecting you. It's not a productive and necessarily helpful way to go about it sometimes, but sometimes that dragon will save your life. So that's me going on a tangent. I'm just saying, you have an inner child and a dragon that exist in this space. So just be aware of this. And when you look at how we separate initially from our mother at the belly button because we were connected with an umbilical cord, you can see what it means when you become vulnerable in this space. When that umbilical cord is first cut, the baby is no longer being fed directly from its mom, and it is now completely vulnerable, and the neediness is overwhelming for the first few years. And so that need for connection is a very physical reality for us. We need to be connected to our mother while we're in the womb, and then we need to be connected to our family and the people who take care of us when we're out of the womb, so that they will value us enough to feed us and take care of us. And that manifests later on in life as wanting to have sex, or wanting to eat, wanting to fill this space with whatever it is, so that you feel filled and connected, right? So addictions can manifest because of an imbalanced sacral space. But, so you can end up obese, you can end up a shopaholic trying to fill that void, or a sexaholic trying to, to just to feel good, just to feel something sometimes, right? Because of that strong sense of when you go deep inside, you understand we are so completely disconnected, while on a physical level we crave connection. And we'll talk about disconnection in a second. But that connection that we crave so much, that is a part of who we are, of what we are, is kind of a dichotomy. It's an absolute paradigm. It's an absolute paradox, because nothing can ever touch anything else. There can be, in the physical manifest reality, there can be no true connection. We are all 100% connected with stable strands of consciousness, and nothing will ever change that in truth. Everything is connected by stable strands of consciousness, which means that nothing can shake those strands, nothing can break those strands, and everything is connected to everything else at all times. But in the physical representation of spirit, we have particles and atoms, and those can't touch. When they do, if they do, like if you force particles to touch or atoms to touch like that, you have this immense explosion, like immense. So we just go through life, and even my hands, the skin is not, the little particles of my skin aren't even touching each other. Everything is made out of atoms that are so far apart, like they're as far apart as planets are far apart in space. So nothing touches. These fingers don't touch each other at all. They feel a touch, but only because they feel the force that separates them. It's really weird. But this is the truth of physical manifestation. Nothing touches. There is no connection at all. What there is in the physical form is attachments. Attachments. So we attach ourselves to other people, thinking this person's going to make me feel better, or we become, like I said, addicted as an attachment. There are energies outside of us that attach to us. And when they do, they attach down in the sacral space, in that area around the sacral and sometimes the root chakra. So if you have a very, if you have a lot of traumas and you have a traumatized sacral space, let's say, if you've had not a happy childhood, if you had to beg for food, if you were hungry all the time, if you feared death a lot growing up, then you didn't have that sense of security, your needs weren't being met. And it's easy then for something to attach itself to you, because there are kind of holes or openings or portals, in that space where the orange light should be filling your energetic body. Instead of the orange light filling your energetic body here in the sacral space, you could envision black holes, kind of like little puncture black holes. You actually could totally, I think that would be a very legitimate way to describe it. And it would be very natural for an energetic attachment to find that and to be like, that's exactly what I was looking for, and attach to it. And then you end up with personality disorders, kind of. More people have these issues than you could possibly imagine. So yeah, we'll talk about personality in a minute too, because in the sacral space is where your personality is formed. So this is where you discover who you are, right? So this is your womb if you're a woman. But for all of the chakras, there is a flip side. There is kind of another way of looking at it. There is a dark side, perhaps, right? So it's also the wound. So it's the womb and the wound. It's where you hold your pain. And when I talk about pain, I'm talking about repressed memories and suppressed feelings, and like I said, trauma. And so in the womb, this is our creative space. And this will help us to manifest anything that we want in life. This is where magic begins. And I'll talk about how that happens in a minute. But like I said a minute ago, there's also the wound here. And this comes from, pains, all needs not being met, this kind of thing, but also the expectations that other people put on you and that you choose to carry for yourself. The expectations of the group, of society, of your family, the path that was laid out to you from your family or from your lineage. We've always been blacksmiths. You're going to be a blacksmith. Or, no, you have to be a doctor. You need to marry someone who fits into this family. You have to be Catholic. You have to be Jewish. You have to be whatever. You're a white person. You have to marry a white person. Whatever. So we have expectations. And we have the expectations put on us by other people, and we have the creative impulse that is what we really are coexisting in this place, right? And again, I just want to back up. So you have your solar plexus above and your root chakra below. Your solar plexus is your sun. It's your projected self. Your root chakra is your shadow, and it's your protected self. So you have your projection and your protection. And where they meet in the middle is where you find yourself, and you learn to know yourself, and you learn to accept yourself. So when you go from protection to finding yourself and knowing yourself, then you can project it. But until you learn who you are and develop your personality based on your preferences and your desires, then you have nothing to project in the solar plexus. So in this sacral space is where we do our work as far as discovering who we are, discovering who the authentic person is. And we do that in this space, because this is where desires become manifest. Desires are born in the sacral chakra. So I've said it a million times in my life growing up, a million times. I haven't said it for a long time, but man, we should know who we are. We should have, now again, I don't mean to should on anybody. That's not my favorite word. But as a human being, you would think it would be very natural for you to be born and grow up, and as you're growing up, decide who you are relative to what you experience, and be like, this is me, this is my personality, this is what I want, this is what I came to manifest, blah, blah, blah. No, not for most of us. For most of us, that whole path looks more like a child was born and he grew up being told what he is, what he should want, what he shouldn't want, what he should fear, what his preferences should be, and trying to integrate that into his energetic body to the point where you end up with a very muddled sense of identity, a very muddled sense of self. And then you spend the rest of your life trying to untie those knots and trying to discover who you really are, independent of the good opinion of other people, which is a beautiful phrase that I got from Wayne Dyer, bless his soul, rest his soul, who got that from his teacher, I think it was Maslow. Living your life independent of the good opinion of other people. So that means I don't care what they think, right? I don't care what they want for me. I don't care if they think this is weird. This is what I prefer. And in your sacral space is where you learn what you prefer. And that is the stuff of magic. That's the kindling for magic, is your preferences. Hicks Abraham talks about the emotional guidance system, right? And following your emotional guidance system, this doesn't feel right. That feels right. So I'm going to go there, right? that is what happens in your gut. If you have butterflies, you know, oh, I'm excited about something. This I'm expecting that to feel good. I'm really excited about that. Or if you have a sinking feeling in your gut, you know, oh, this isn't right. This doesn't feel right, right? Your stomach, not your stomach, but your sacral space is completely in touch with your preferences and what you want. And if you listen to it and you honor it, then you will discover who your authentic self truly is. So this is where we develop our personality, and this is where we find out who we are, and this is where we pick up the kindling for magic, because in having a preference or having a desire, then we are learning what we want, and we resonate with what we want. We can, and this is where personality disorders come in, and addictions and that kind of thing, resonate with what we don't have, which is the flip side of the same coin, right? I am hungry. I want food. I want to be well fed. I want to have enough money for the rest of my life, never to have to worry about food again, right? Or I am hungry. I don't have enough food. I don't have enough money to buy any food. I'm going to be hungry for the rest of my life. So I'm either resonating with, oh, I want this. I want to manifest this for myself. Or, oh, I don't have this. I don't have this. I don't have this. I don't have this, right? So when you resonate with what you want, which begins in the sacral space, magic begins to happen. Now, as we work our way up the chakras, we'll talk more about magic, because there are a few more chakras involved with magic and manifestation. But this is the critical component for magic, and that's why I talk about. I was talking about groups and family and community earlier today, because the sacral space is where we connect to other people, right, on a physical level. So if we are a part of a community, part of a circle, part of a family or group, friends, whatever, and we feel that we have some type of connection to them, then we also feel like we need to follow their path. If we don't, almost inevitably, we'll be shunned from the group. We will be rejected. We'll be ostracized, and that cuts our connections, cuts our spiritual and energetic connections. And when it does that, it cuts our energetic body in a way. It stabs us in the gut, really. It hurts. It hurts so bad. Because it's not just a physical need. So it hurts energetically, because we know as these physical creatures that evolved from the Australopithecus and beyond, that without a group that you wouldn't survive. So first, oh, I'm not a part of a group anymore, I'm going to die. Like literally. That's kind of the energetic vibration of being ostracized and rejected. But also, on an energetic level, we are by nature all connected. It is our nature to be connected. All of us, always by stable strands of consciousness. That is who we are. That is what we are. Okay? So that's one aspect of what we are, and it is unchangeable. So when energetically that truth about what we are is ripped away from us, right? So that on such a deep level, you and I are connected on such a deep level. But if on the physical level, because we talked about symbolism a minute ago, right? So symbolically, us being separated literally shows that energetic act of separation, cutting in half and being separated I take that into my energetic field as well, that energy, and so do you. And so we are experiencing separation, kind of spiritually, even though it can't be, because we're seeing and feeling that symbolism, that vibe of separation. And it's so counter to what we are, to who we are, that it just cuts us to the quick. It really, really hurts. There are a lot of things that are like that, of course, not having your needs met, because we, in reality, our truth is that our needs are always met because we are one with the all, you know what I mean? So not having our needs met is so counter to what our truth is that it really, really hurts, So this is one of those things, though. It's a very, very deep wound, okay? And also, it occurs in the area of the womb, right? So there is a lot of kind of, I don't want to keep using the word vulnerability, but this is a soft space for your spirit. This is a very soft space. Like, this is where your spirit is kind of needy in a good way. Like, this is where your spirit is open and asking for things, right? This is when where your flower, or you're a new sprout, a sprouting seed. The seed cracks open and the sprout comes out. That's the most vulnerable time. It's the most vulnerable place. And that's why, like I said, you can get hurt here and get attachments, and that will stop your ascension. That will stop your kundalini from rising. That will stop your spiritual growth. Some people just stop there and never move beyond it. Because going back to the idea of family and groups and things like that, it's more comfortable to be a part of a group and not have to figure out who I am, determine how I'm going to shine that forth in the world on my own, and live independent of the good opinion of other people, rather than just following, what the family says that I should be doing, or what the group prescribes that our beliefs are, or what the community says is acceptable for me. Breaking away from that. Not a lot of people do that. Not a lot of people are even inclined to do that. It is so much easier for most people to sit in the group and to do whatever it takes to be happy in that group. Drink a lot of alcohol if that's what it takes to get along with this group of people, or just be that religious zealot because, hey, they say I'm evil if I'm not, or obsess over my looks or what it is I'm putting out there so that I can make sure that they find me acceptable, or show up for all of the meetings so that I'm always there and they can see that I'm an active and engaged part of the group, and they won't feel threatened by me or ostracized, just be whatever it is they want me to be. And people will live their whole life doing that because it's so much easier. When you break away from the expectations of other people and you start to follow your emotional guidance system and the gut feeling, where intuition lives, right? Because a lot of people think these things are up here. No, there's so much more up here. But down here, we're just working with intuition right now. We're working with the magician and the priestess and the tarot. So you're learning to resonate with what you want. And you have to break away from the group in order to even know what you want. And to resonate with what you want, it's going to take a little bit of practice, right? A lot of us, after you do it for a while, there's no practice needed. So, if you've been doing it for a while, obviously, you can't do otherwise after you flip the switch and you go this way. You can never go the other way after you start resonating with what you want, right? And this is when you learn to do that, when you find your way out of the portal and onto the path. And so karmic debt and ancestral DNA baggage that we bring into this life, family. Now, I love family because, again, that is a representation of our spiritual truth, which is that we are all family, and that's the truth. Okay. Family is a gateway, not a path. It opens you up to the world and welcomes you into the world so that you can find your path and move forward. And if it's on the same path as your family and friends and community, well, then you're very lucky. You're very fortunate. For most of us, that is absolutely not the case. And it's, tragic and sad and all that, but it is what it is, right? So we find our way on the path up the ascension path, right? Raising our spirits step by step. So the sacral space is where a woman holds her eggs, right? Now, I know that this doesn't necessarily resonate with men in general, but there's something to this. Understand, that I should have mentioned this when we were talking about the root chakra, because for men, their fertility, their fertile area is in the root, where their sperm is created. It's created down where the stuff of the earth is just always growing and manifest, just growing, and like things decay and break down into smaller and smaller bits, and the world pushes things up and pushes them down, and it's just a churning area of earth on the ground. And a man's sperm kind of resonates with that. Like, there are only so many eggs in a woman's womb, and there's infinite sperm in a man's, testicles or whatever. Like, he's always making it, right? So men have their fertility in the root chakra area, and women have their fertility in the sacral chakra area, which I think is very interesting. There's a lot of yin and yang energy between men and women that is totally for another time. But we're, still, this is the area that we in general hold our magic and our fertility for growth. So, sorry for the tangent, can't help myself sometimes, but so we want to work on this, because not only are we the most vulnerable here, and we have possibly the most healing to do here, but it holds the most potential, and this is where magic starts. So this is where we want to start with healing, really spending time with the self, learning who we are, and working toward manifesting the life that we desire. So the sound of the sacral chakra is VAM, V-A-M, VAM, right? And the color is orange. And when I talk about specific gemstones, I spoke about red jasper when it came to the root chakra. And I'm wearing a red jasper bracelet right now. So I want to clarify that it's not usually the gemstone that resonates with a chakra. It's the color of the gemstone. So red jasper, this red jasper is orange, right? So this would resonate with the sacral chakra. This is red agate. It's orangish too, right? This would resonate with the sacral chakra. And this is carnelian, also orange, resonates with the sacral chakra. So my point is, it's not so much the gemstone as the color of the gemstone usually that resonates with the chakra. So tiger's eye is one. Tiger's eye generally resonates with the solar plexus chakra and the root chakra, just because of the colors. But because it's this bright gold and like deep brownish black, right? But you can get tiger's eye that's more, if I have it here, no, oh well, that's more orange. And so that you would definitely use that tiger's eye to resonate with the solar plexus chakra. So I don't want you to get stuck on what kind of stone to use. I would prefer that you thought about what color of stone to use, and even beyond that, what your intuition tells you that a stone resonates with, because there are some stones that will resonate with your chakras differently than they would resonate with other people's chakras based on what's going on in your chakra body at the time, or your energetic body at the time. So there are no hard and fast rules. I just want you to know that, okay? So a good mantra is, I am worthy. I am worthy, because you are working through the fact that in your sacral space that perhaps you didn't always have your needs met, or you have desires that maybe don't that aren't in harmony with the desires that other people have for you. And so it makes, it will often make us wonder, do I deserve to have my own desires? Do I deserve to have what I desire if it doesn't blend with another person's desires for me or for themselves, right? So, for instance, if somebody wanted to have a lot of money, they may not feel that they're worthy of having a lot of money, so that's their block right there. But why do they not feel like they're worthy of having a lot of money? Probably because what they've been told about themselves or shown about themselves from other people. So we're healing what has happened in the past. Another thing, this is where the past lives. The sacral chakra is where the past lives. So you're healing the past, basically, right? So I am worthy is a really good one. But I think a real good one is, I am everything and everything is me. I am everything and everything is me. I am everything, which means I am not outside of the all. I have all my needs met at all times. I am all things at all times. And everything is me, meaning I am connected with everything at all times. I don't have to worry about pleasing my family, my group, my community. I don't need to worry about fitting in, because I am whole. I am whole. That's another good one. I am whole. So these are ways that you can resonate with the sacral chakra while you resonate with what you want, right? I would like to do this with you. I think that, I know I've mentioned this in other videos, and I just want you to understand. I want to do this with you so that I can help you manifest what you want, and you can help me manifest what I want, so that our energy works together and creates magic between the two of us. We have magic to share, so let's share it with each other, okay? I'm going to do 27 repetitions. If you want, go forward and do 108. A full mala. This is a quarter mala. I like to do my videos with quarter malas because otherwise my video would be much longer. Although I will do full mala videos in the future. I just need to figure out what the format of that will be. But this is a good practice. 27 repetitions is plenty, in my opinion. So if you are working with your left hand, this is generally the receiving hand, and the right hand is generally the putting it out there hand. So I think that the I am everything and everything is me would be a good one to put out there, like I'm projecting that out there, right? If you feel like you need to integrate that into your system, if you want to receive that vibration and really learn to own that vibration, then use your left hand. Really use the hand that your body tells you is best. Your body knows what it should be using at any given time, and it'll change, no doubt. Okay. I am everything and everything is me. Envision right around your belly button just a big orb of orange light that is topped by a big orange of yellow light and rooted by a big orb of red light. So you have a big orb of red light, a big orb of yellow light, but you're focusing on a big orb of orange light right in the center. Okay? This is creative ascension we're working on. Okay? I am everything and everything is me. 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 You are everything, and everything is you. And, I'm going to share a poem. Dare to Live. And it's about fearlessly going on that path that has never been blazed by anyone else before. But the inner child knows that it must be done in order to live the life that you came to live. And before we do that, we usually have some type of a loss that wakes us up to the fact that, I only have so much time to live, or, what am I even living for, right? And that's your wake-up call. And these things are huge blessings. These things are huge blessings that wake us up, jolt us awake, and remind us why we are here. Okay? Dare I live? Dare I choose to live? Now that I have nothing to live for. It is a fool's thought while drowning in a shallow pool with me. It is a child's thought while swimming out to colder, deeper sea. Vast sandy shores wave farewell on the eve, with splashing melody, with warmth and open arms held out in eager form just to embrace the breathless child. They offer shelter from the storm, but still the child inside collides with icy grips of truth that the thousand lovely tides she visioned from the shore were hours slipping from her youth, and tears were rolling in and out, while sand in hourglass did weigh between her toes, her everyday. It was a happy lie to keep her in one place, an illusion we call time and space. So swim, sweet child, and dare to live. So I wrote that when I was much younger. I was just a child. I did not understand what I was writing. But, it's amazing when we plug into spirit, the truth makes itself plain. And, time and space, the illusion, keeps us in one place. And if you make a move, you're going to upset the apple cart. You're going to piss people off. They're not going to like it. But you will start your ascension. You'll start your ascension And I'm going to walk with you through the rest of your ascension. So come back next week and we'll work on the solar plexus chakra. Thanks so much for being with me. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments or thoughts. So glad you're here. Mala blessings, love and light.